While we know you enjoy seeing the big, impressive layouts we often show you in Great Layout Adventures, many of you have told us you'd like to see something a little smaller. Not everyone has a huge space to construct a massive empire, but you may have a spare room. That was the situation with a family in Cincinnati, Ohio, where a 15 by 21 foot room was set aside for the trains. Meet retired Judge Eugene Utz, who, along with his son Gene, created a railroad with a big feel in a small space. Having been into Lionel for years, their elusive dream was to build a highly scenic, finished layout. The judge explains how it came to be.
The credit should go to my son Gene because he decided that it was time and that we should really reconstruct the layout because he knew I was interested and I knew he had been from a child on. And as he grew older, well, he decided it's later than you think and we better do it now or never. And so that was the beginning of doing it. I think it was in February of '95. When it came time to reconstruct this whole layout and make it really what it is today, I was advised that we would have nothing but new Gargraves track because that was the type of track that we needed to make everything function properly. And it was proper with the type of switches that we were going to use, and the old track just wouldn't fit in.
Obtaining maximum operating potential from the room's limited dimensions was a challenge, conquered by the layout designer who is none other than our own Jim Barrett. To effectively utilize all the space, Jim used all the walls. This meant a duck-under or movable bridge was necessary at the entrance to the room. The green, blue, and black tracks are on one level, and the red tracks are elevated. A ramp connects the two, and reverse loops are located on each level to permit trains to operate over the entire layout.
After the major construction was completed, we continued on building the layout as far as the scenery. And my idea was to build the scenery from actually trial and error because I've never done any modeling.
The railroad is powered with 2 MTH Z4000 transformers and 1 Lionel ZW.
We have several different types of signals, just the same as a real railroad has. Some are semaphores that operate and show the caution, the red or the green light. Also we have block signals, and we have the cantilever signal for individual tracks. We have crossing flashing lights, and each switch is lighted by an authentic lantern that switches from green to red when the switch is turned.
While 3 trains can be operated at the same time, several more can be staged on yard tracks. This provides the judge an opportunity to run many locomotives from his collection.
The inventory consists of 12 or 14 steam engines, 5 diesel switchers, 3 complete streamliner units, the B&O, the Central, and the C&O. The last 2 that I purchased was the Great Northern, which is a fantastic engine. Now that's the latest MTH that I have that does all of the operations fantastically. Not only the whistle is, in my opinion, is authentic, the bell ringing, and its chugging sounds, the smoke, how it operates, it's synchronized with the turn of the wheels, and it's just the greatest engine we have. And it's a rather large engine. Of course, the same day I bought a Mikata, and while that's a smaller engine, that has all the same features, and they're both just super engines, and when I see another one strikes my fancy, I'll buy it. The original, as we referred to them then as toys, were all Lionel toys that were my son Gene's. And of course, we continue to use the ones that we think are appropriate, like the Switchman station there. While it's modified to the extent that it doesn't entertain the same Lionel colors, it's fitting now as a proper function on that freight yard track there. And then of course the engine house is relatively new. That was weathered by my son, and he built that. The culvert loader was the original part of it, was a gift to my son from my brother when my son was very young. The barrel loader was originally my son Gene's. And of course, many of the floodlights that you see, some of them are original from my early train sets. The manufacturing station was modified to resemble what my father did as an engineer. The Cincinnati Bigfoot Tool Company, where he was our chief engineer. The train station, of course, was constructed by my son Gene, and I modified some of it by putting different type windows in than originally were installed, and of course I put all the lights in them.
Much of the upper level track runs along trestle work and is supported by balsa wood bents.
My wife and I spent many hours gluing them all together. And I don't remember how many it was, but it was a fantastic amount. We had glue on our fingers from one end to the other. At any rate, it was interesting, and Mom and I spent many hours down in the basement constructing those. And I thought we did an excellent job, and of course the design, I think, is fantastic. The backdrop is originally made out of plain masonite, and the corners, the four corners, are bent and attached to 1x2s. After they're placed on there and construction is complete, then it was painted a sky blue color. The original engineer that designed the layout for us came up with the idea of making the corners curved that would properly extend the way the layout was viewed. It's fantastic, and everybody comments about the scenery.
Like most model railroaders, the judge would like to make changes or modifications to the layout.
If it were possible, you know, you would change every 3 or 4 years, but you really can't do it because it's a monumental task to reconstruct a layout. You get new things, you see other people's layouts, you read the O-Gauge magazine and see how things are, and you want something they have, but you know, it always doesn't fit in.
The bridges solved space limitations, but caused a major incident. A simple solution was devised to remedy the situation.
When it was up, the power still remained on. And of course, when an engine ran off the one of the lower main tracks, then one of our friends determined that we better install a system with a relay that cuts all the power off when the bridge is raised. And of course, there's two of them. There was a main bridge on the top level that's raised, and then there's a platform trestle for the lower levels. Either one of those being up or down, the power is shut off, and none of the trains will operate.
For Judge Utz, the railroad's been a truly rewarding and worthwhile experience.
Well, I think it's a fantastic way to relax. I just enjoy viewing all the things that were constructed, especially all the different things that I was able to do. I've spent 6 or 8 hours working on one of these mountains, and you wouldn't even notice after the end of that time what I'd accomplished. But it's so much detail. It has to be done over and over again until it hits you that this is the way it should be. I was never a model builder. I tried a few, and it seems to me that I got more glue on everything than the wrong places. But it was really very interesting to be able to do the different things on this layout that I never even considered. I always thought somebody had to build that and do all those things, but you know, it wasn't that difficult once you get started.
There are lessons here, and you can take them from the judge. Don't put off building that dream layout, because it may be later than you think. You'll acquire new skills as you go along, and you'll have fun along the way. And as you can see, space limitations don't have to stop you. You can get a lot of O-Gauge railroading in a small space.